Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Gray Area on this Sunday, the second Sunday in September. I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my, God bless you, joined by my partner, as always, Grooming and Reviews 101, a.k.a. Sparta! A.k.a. the Ghost of Sparta, a.k.a. Peter, a.k.a. Yotis. Y'all saw my brother. What's going on?
What is going on, my man? How are you tonight?
I am well. Well, first, I can't be too unhappy. First of all, it is the kickoff, the official kickoff. I know we started on Thursday, but it's the kickoff of the NFL season. So my Pittsburgh Steelers have finished the weekend in first place of the AFC North. And so hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. So I'm excited to see football
right now
in all its splendor right now. So I'm a very happy person tonight. But shout out to everyone who's going to be joining us tonight. We appreciate you as always. 183307 again. Thank you once again for joining us and being here. Certainly, as you guys come in, we ask that you certainly click the like button as you come in. Certainly helps the algorithm, supports the network. Consider joining, becoming a subscriber to the network or a member of the network. Black Van Unfiltered Network again offers content 7 days a week. And so, you should be able to find a variety of shows to your liking. And so anything you can do to help the platform, we'd appreciate it. You see our Cash App scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Any help that you want to give us individually, certainly we appreciate that as well. But we always appreciate you guys coming in and joining us. Again, Catellia, as always, thank you for your support as you come in. And yes, the Steelers are 1-0 and in first place of the division. So I'm definitely loving that. And hopefully that trend continues throughout the course of the year. So, Mariana, again, all the ladies always are first to come in, man. Guys sometimes pick up the rear, but the ladies always come after us first, man. Maybe because we look like Crockett and Tubbs from Miami Vice. Maybe we're just too hot for these girls, and they just love coming in and just watching us. I don't know what it is, but the ladies always show up first.
Hey. It's the reason it goes to Sparta. I'm just gonna leave it PG to that. But
see, I'm rocking a shirt. This is kind of like that Miami Vice kind of 80s kind of shirt there. I'm kind of like a disc jockey here, so certainly hey, but you can smoke. You can sow your oats. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can peacock a little bit.
Today's game wasn't a good one for Giants fans. That's all I gotta say right now. Jets tomorrow. That's my real team. My number one.
That'd be a saving grace.
Giants. So they better if you're watching Jets fans, I'm coming for you. You better win. You better not get hurt after the first goddamn game and the first goddamn play. Okay, I'm good now.
Absolutely. Appreciate that 1830. She says my smooth baritone voice. Appreciate that. Smitty's Corner, again, thank you for stopping in here tonight as well. And, certainly looking forward to a good show tonight. So, again, this was like another change. So, last week's show, actually, I really enjoyed last week's show. I thought that was one of our biggest shows. When I was checking the views on, we came out the gate like running. Like, we like at a, so they had a high clip of views, so it kind of tap off a little bit. But I really enjoyed that conversation on tattoos. I
actually think you're going to enjoy this conversation today, too.
So that was a great show, and so certainly, and that was a spur of the moment. So the fact that Peter called us out and said, "Hey, I got an idea for a show," I said, "Look, let's run with it," and so we're going to take it from there. So I'm going to pass it off to you. You can sort of set the stage for this evening's conversation.
I have a question for you, actually. First,
yes, sir. Yep.
June 20th, 2017. Do you remember what you did that day? Any chance?
June 20th,
2020
of 27. 2017. I cannot remember what I did on
I do actually. I remember at 3:05, I was driving on the KC Highway, going back home from work. I was working Scranton, Jessup area, Dunmore at the time,
Right.
and I always turned the radio on to see the traffic because it was a 45-minute drive. And I got one of the worst news ever. Hearing one of my favorite bands leaders, Chester Benjamin. I can't pronounce his goddamn name. I apologize, my brother. But he's the lead vocalist and one of the lead head leads of Linkin Park, a very famous band. And it was tragic because I personally didn't know his personal life like that. I didn't really care. I care about the music. I didn't care what he dealt with. He dealt with very extreme addictions and very extreme mental suicide issues. Unfortunately, he ended up committing suicide on that date. That day, it was strange because he committed suicide on the date he died was his best friend's birthday that died a year prior on suicide also.
Wow.
So the reason this came to my mind, because his music is very emotional. If you go back and listen to it now, like, oh, he's calling for help through his music. Nobody realized it. It was just songs. But 2 days ago, it's been 7 years since the loss. 7 days ago, Linkin Park came out on a live stream with their new lead singer. I was like, oh, I don't know how I felt about this at first. But after I listened to the song a few times, I'm like, oh, this can be good.
So were they playing basically hits from 7-8 years ago, or was this a brand new release?
It's a mix. So they were working the last 3 years on a new album. So I kind of watched the back of the scenes a little bit. I kind of want to do a little more homework. What was going on in their heads the last 3 years? The last 7 years. So they went through a lot. Some of them went emotional, didn't want to come back. It was going to be, kind of like hurting his memory, but he loved memory so much, music so much. It'd be a pleasure somebody stepping in his shoes. And she said it. I got big shoes to fill. This is not going to be easy. And I thought Chester was the lead member, but he wasn't the lead member. It was Mike Sandan. I can't pronounce his name. I apologize. He was the lead who put this whole group together. And you got to listen to his music. It's a hip-hop rap / metal sound. Very weird combination, but it worked for them. There's these guys are one of the few bands that started together and continued over the years. Think about it. How many bands have been put together over the years that have broken up?
Yeah, or again, band members come and go. So it's very few that have been able to keep the core guys together. Absolutely.
The core guys are still there. The only person they lost after the loss, on top of Chester, was the drummer. The drummer kind of moved on, did his own thing. So there was some let luck. Even Mike said it in his interview. Listen, I have nothing bad feelings about the guy. He want to move on. I respect that. This is not for everybody. He gets that. After a big loss after 7 years, he didn't know he was coming back. These guys make their own music, produce and play it. It's kind of hard to do all three. And usually you just do one or the other. So, and then I started thinking, like, wait a minute, would be a good topic to talk about, because we got a lot. Linkin Park's not the only band. You got Bon Jovi, you got Metallica, you got 50 Cent, Eminem. Eminem has so many emotional songs if you really think about it.
Yeah.
But nobody ever stops and listen. I mean, really listen, diagnose the lyrics. Like, here's a good song with Bon Jovi, You Can't Love a Bad Name. The name, the title, right there. How many people have gone through, even yourself, before you met your wife? I know it's kind of hard to remember that back. But think about it. How many heartbreaks you had? I don't know about you, brother, but when I have a really emotional bad day, music always gets me out of it. Yeah. Every single time.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
No, absolutely. I mean, music has that, and it doesn't matter where in the world that you are. Certainly music does have that ability to stir the emotions, to, get you through those bad times, or to inspire you, to get you motivated, to get you upset, or just to dull the noise of anything that might be going on in your life at the time. So music has always been certainly a powerful tool in humanity, that helps people to again to overcome things, and certainly the thoughtfulness of certain songwriters to really put that I mean it's, and everyone says, we've been blessed to have all these hits and songs that we can remember over the years, but we take for granted oftentimes how rare they are, because again, it has to be the right combination again of the songwriter, of the lyric, the songwriter, the lyricist, and sometimes it's just the situation that they may be going to, like you were saying, the artist, he might have been using those songs as a cry for help himself. And a lot of times we don't understand those things before that person, succumbs to their demons or what have you. So music has always been a way to convey those sort of things. So absolutely, music is very therapeutic, and so I've utilized it over the years, and it's weird because my music tastes are so varied. Over the years, I mean, I can listen to pretty much anything from any genre, so to speak. Like I said, it really depends on the time, the situation, and the attitude. I'm not just into rap. In fact, honestly, my music collection in general, I think, has kind of stopped after a certain time. I don't think I really have anything that's really saved in my collection, really, of any merit, probably after like 1998, 99, maybe 2000. I mean, so all my songs, really relate to certainly my childhood. Cause I didn't have the easiest childhood, and so the songs of the day, especially in the '80s, the late '70s and in the '80s, really helped me to deal with a lot of things that were going on. So like when and I still think to this day, I think the '80s was still the greatest era of music, in my humble opinion, because of
I will agree.
The birth of music videos, the synthesizer, that '80s sound, the rap really coming into play, just the explosion of all these different music genres that was going on around the same time, and me growing up in the conditions that I was in, to be at the birth of that and to see all that coming together was certainly something that again, it was definitely very motivating for me, and certainly helped me get through those days, because everybody was into if anything was going on, them rides to school on the bus, someone's playing something, whether it be Africa Bambaata's Planet Rock, or some song that kind of got you thinking besides your home life and your home condition that you were going through. So absolutely, music has always had that power to influence, and so yeah, I mean, it's we're very diverse people in terms of our opinions, in terms of our views, in terms of what hits us. And sometimes even the song I may listen to at this point, it may not hit me the same way as another one. Depending, again, it all depends on the mood. So I have a massive playlist that's actually, and it's weird just with the technology now, right? I mean, we had albums, right, and then we had CDs, and well, I go back to 8-track. Okay, so
I was about to say that 8-track and
8-track cassettes. Album CDs, and now just on this phone here.
Did you have the vinyl in your car?
I had some. No, not in the car. No, I don't think anybody had that. But I mean, just on your phone, I have thousands of songs just at my disposal, and these are all songs that I've collected over the years. So this isn't like I don't necessarily subscribe to like a Spotify or any of the new stuff that's on. Or if I do, I'm always going to go back to that. Those old jams, because again, they take me back to certainly a happier time, a time of certainly my development, and having to get to things. So I'm kind of classic in that sense. I really, and we were even having a conversation a little bit on the barbershop on the Being Univocal this past Friday about music. And, we talk about, every generation always thinks the next generation's music is trash. So I think that's just something that just kind of goes with the territory.
I am going to actually respectfully disagree with you with
that. I agree with that. I'm just saying, but why? Yeah.
Because I came in life, my dad's not sack at 85. So at 85, that was the end of the 80s. But I still like the 80s music. Even the 70s. I think they're great music. So my genre is like all over the place. Like if you see my playlist, it's a little bit of everything. And I work all the time with kids say, "What is this shit?" And I'm like, "Real music, actually. You should try it sometimes." I went to them because everything you hear the F word or some kind of negative term, that's not music. Let's be straight up here. It's easier to put a rap together and say, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. I can do it too. I can make millions of views like that. So Grooming Reviews 101 just raps his first song. Here you go, guys. But my point is trying to get to rap. There's some great rap artists. Eminem, like I explained to before, 50 Cent. I can go on and on. Ramsey, help me out.
Run DMC.
Oh, by the way, he's going to be at Comic-Con. I forgot to tell you that the other day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna meet him. Anyway, back to the show. There are a lot of good songs out there. Aerosmith, for example, good conversation, great person to talk. Then you have Metallica, like I mentioned earlier. Again, they were what I believe they came in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. 80s they came in. Then you have the boy band era, right now is a hit on it again. NSYNC Bye 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 is a number one song years later. Now it's a hit again all of a sudden because Deadpool.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of the music that's coming out today is kind of sampled or recycled from hits from again the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, or what have you. So it's weird because I'll have a conversation with my kids and they'll be like, oh yeah, this song's so good. It's like, yeah. We've been here before. I mean, so I can give you the original sample of the track or the hit that was back in the day. So it's cool because we can kind of still, they still pay homage to the old songs or whatever. But we can all be in the car together, not kill each other over the music that everybody wants to listen to. So it's so yeah. But I truly think that probably after 2000, like I don't recognize a sound. You know what I'm saying? Like. There was a 50s sound. There was a 60s sound. There was a 70s sound. There was definitely an 80s sound. There was a 90s sound. And then probably like I said, going into the 2000s, there was a sound.
I don't know. I think we're going to disagree a little bit. So I know you're more into the pop and the older rap, correct? Isn't it correct?
Definitely rap. Again, if you're talking rap, you're talking the golden era. You're talking probably 79 to 92. Okay. If that, with the bubble being like the mid to late 80s.
So what I like rap, don't get me wrong, but it's not my top of my list. Mm-hmm. You're a Grinch. I know you're a Grinch when I say this.
No, it's fine.
Metal is my go-to. Explain to you why. Mm-hmm. Because metal is made differently. It's a different animal. So most of these guys have been through something, number one. I'm not saying these rap guys haven't, but most of them don't. They say they do, but they don't. I don't believe half the shit they say, first of all. Second of all, you have to play an instrument to be in a heavy metal band. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. You can't just go get on a mic. It's very few people like Chester Mooney from Figure Out Fight Death Punch. I understand that's not for right. It can get loud in those damn concerts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've been to 3 of them.
Yeah. It's
but it's different. Wait. It's different of a screamo and a rock show. 2 different things. Keep that in mind. A screamo, you go like that's a screamo. So a band, or a rock star, he's singing, but just heavy music in the background, like going in the back. I don't want to say any of the lyrics. I don't want to get striked again. So it's different. Like. And that's why I always recommend people, like, if you like rap, you would definitely like Linkin Park. And for FYI, everybody, when I mentioned this, Paul, he goes, "Who's Linkin Park?" I almost choke slammed you through a goddamn phone. I almost choke slammed.
I have. I'm sure you have knowledge that expands mine. There's no offense. There's no offense here. But honestly,
I'm going to choke slam you in a couple of weeks when I see you. So, but my point is trying to get to that's why metal heavy is different. Like most of the artists who are heavy, not most, every rock band that I know and I follow literally has sit there. A lot of rap artists don't write their own music. They don't. They just have a good voice. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I mean, but that's not I think just in music in general. I mean, again, there's always been songwriters and whatnot. I mean, if you want to say rap is a certain category, because again, you're talking about usually it's drawing from personal life experience. I mean, I think I think with rap, I think authenticity is something that maybe not, doesn't apply as much to other music genres. So the idea is that you're supposed to be talking about things that relate to you. I mean, Eminem is like I said, is a prime example of that. Or back in the day when you had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and they were talking about the message and they were talking about the life that people were living. I mean, these are things that were. But I think in that movie 8 Mile, where they had the rap battle at the end, and he talked about you're not a gangster, your real name is Clarence. And Clarence, basically, this guy Clarence, the other guy, he played the image of this hardcore lifestyle, but he was really a guy from the suburbs. But he was just making it off of off of the hardcore. But he didn't come from that lifestyle. So I definitely think with rap is different probably from any other, because it draws on that. I don't know if it's the same with rock or metal music. Like, do you have to come from that kind of background to really have an idea, to have an appreciation for the genre? But I think with rap, it usually does. And if you come off as being, being fake, I mean, I think when MC Hammer came out, when he had that mega, please don't hurt him, Hammer, when he came out with that album and whatnot, people were like, well, what is this? He definitely went mainstream, which even though he made a lot of money and he certainly they put him on the map in terms of, mainstream success, people knew who he was from Oakland. He was basically a gangster from Oakland. So everybody knew that. So when he came out later on, he was talking about pumps and a bump and all that he went back to his roots then. But I think by that time, maybe people weren't as into him as much, because they felt he might have sold out. And again, selling out in like I said, at least the way it used to be. I don't know what it is now, because like I said, I don't follow the modern music like I did back in the day. But again, authenticity in rap was important. So yeah, if you could write your own lyrics and talk about things that you could really relate to with certain situations that you had, then yeah, I think that gave you a lot of credibility. But if you weren't living that life or whatever, it didn't work.
A song we both know, "Stand" from Eminem. That is a powerful and painful song if you listen to the lyrics correctly. This is a guy who's obsessed with Eminem, and he's like kind of like asking for help without asking.
Oh yeah, Stan. Yeah, no, it was yeah. And what I really like was the because I know there was like a blow up this year with, I think Eminem had said some things about Elton John. That was, I guess, deemed as homophobic or whatever, and so what they did, I think it was I don't know if it was the American Music Awards or whatever, but they did a ballad together. So it was Elton John who sang the song part of it, and then Eminem did the rap. I thought it was one of the greatest live performances I ever saw. I mean, it was really
people have all this negative cloud over Eminem because he speaks his mind. He's not scared to say, I don't care losing people stop buying my albums or do this or do that. I'll talk how I feel. And that's why he's hated. And he's been hated because he's a trailer trash kind of guy. But no, that's what made him who he is. That's why he values the dollar. Like recently he just married his daughter. And he was strict. From what I heard, again, I don't follow the guy's life, but they're saying like he didn't let her date anybody. He had to go through some steps, and I agree with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's but I think that matters there. But you can come from anywhere else, whether you do pop or R&B or just typical American music. I don't think people care as much as far as what your background is. I mean, it's great if it goes with the story. But there, I think it's more so about your talent. Can you sing or not? Mm-hmm. Can you hold a note or not? At least it used to. And so those are things that where I think rap, at least it used to kind of hold that space. Now again, Anton's saying if Hammer sold out, then you might as well say the same thing about Curtis Blow, Ice-T, about everybody. But again, in that time when that came out, it was like really thick. I mean, you could say, look, everybody had a record label. I mean, and those guys, Curtis Blow, they all started out with Def Jam and whatnot. So it wasn't the same level with MC Hammer coming out, because he sold not only just the songs, the image and whatnot, and it was it was very mixed in terms of reception. Like I said, the mainstream loved him. White people who weren't necessarily into rap music loved his stuff, even though he was again sampling from what's my man's name? Super Freak, Rick James, and all those songs. So he was like blatantly doing this. But again, the commercial success that he had with it was such where he thought it was worth it. Yeah, but I don't know of another artist that took it to that degree in terms of going mainstream like that. But so I would respectfully disagree there. Because again, I remember those times very well. But again, he shot his shot. Never got back to that status again. But certainly, for what it was, he did his thing. So I'm not mad at him for doing that. But I'm just saying how the perception was by people, certainly in the circles that I ran with.
And that's, like I said, everybody has a different taste of music. I'm not trying to bash rap or anything like that. But it comes from a different cloth. That's the only thing I'm saying.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah. And one thing I do like about rock music, there's even a little bit about for everybody out there. It's heavy, is strong, weak, whatever. It's different types of rock. So you get to pick what you like. Don't knock it till you try it. That's what I always say.
Right.
I'm sending you my playlist. Maybe you listen to some of it.
Okay, you can. Now again, so the topic of the show tonight again is about music that emotes. We had an earlier show a little over a month ago. We were talking about music and just the genres and things that we listen to and whatnot. But you wanted to focus in really on the type of music that really moves you in certain ways. So maybe you might want to share then. Like give some examples of songs, like what really. So you talk about those times in your life when you were really down. So what are some of those songs that really gave you inspiration or motivation to move on from from where you were to get up the next day and continue with your life or start over or whatever? What are some of those songs that really help you at those crucial times?
Because I need to get my phone out for this one because I can't remember every goddamn song I listened to.
Sure.
My playlist is kind of big, actually, believe it or not. So Numb is one of them from Linkin Park. Like I mentioned, It's My Life from Bon Jovi, excuse me, and You Can't Love a Bad Name. Just trying to think of the other one. Thunderstrike from AC/DC, another good one. The Rocky theme song. The one, but the one I like the most is No Easy Way Out.
Okay. That's from Rocky 4.
Yes. Hero, another good song from Spider-Man, the horrible Spider-Man series from Tobey Maguire. Don't judge. I know it was a bad movie, but
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Like a prayer. Madonna, another good song right there. Hero, another good song. This one you might not. It's a country song, and I'm not a big country fan, but it's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Very good song. Let's see. Let's get going. Nope. Here is the other one here. Some of my favorite Death Punches, Bad Company, Black or Black, Blue or on Black. Another one. Welcome to the Circus, The Bleeding. This is one I like the most is Jacko and Hyde. That's all I have to say. I think you can figure it out from there. Let me get to my other playlist because I got like several playlists in here. No. Give me a second. I'm going through it.
I got you.
I should have been a little more prepared. ZZ Top is another good band too. Right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Classic band. I always wanted a ZZ Top beard. Just randomly. You should grow a ZZ Top beard.
No. Though for you though, for Halloween, I may get one of those costume things where I just kind of hang it from my ears, and it just kind of hangs down just to inspire you.
Okay, here's a good one. He came on my radar very recently. Drax. Ever heard of him yet?
No.
Drax talks about emotional stuff. Like he talks about his father being alcoholic or raising a young boy, stuff like that. Some other ones, remember the name from Front Mirror. Very good song, a good workout song, actually, I personally believe. Enter the Sandman from Metallica, Master of the Puppets, Metallica. This one I got it from a Bible documentary, and I love that song ever since then. I love listening to it. Never going to stop. From Iron Generation Iron. I don't know if you've ever seen that documentary.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you know what song I'm talking about then.
Yep.
The Beast. The Beast was played in Southpaw. Very good movie, very good song. So those were just a couple of them off the list because I'll be here all day, bro. This is humongous.
I agree. No, it's like I said, it really depends on what again, where you were, what time you were into, and again, just music just kind of lift the spirit, or there's also for me there's stuff I may get into when when I'm down that I kind of want to be in that space for a minute if I'm being like very contemplative, and a lot of the music that I listen to really doesn't have lyrics. A lot of it is like mood music. A lot of it is just jazz, like a jazzy type of thing that just kind of plays in the background. Not only does it help me kind of unwind a little bit, it kind of helps me focus. It helps me meditate. When I'm driving for long distances, oftentimes I'll have just beats, like different rap beats or some sort of vibe type of instrumental stuff that's just playing, that just puts me in a very contemplative mood. Sometimes lyrics get in the way because I'm still trying to work out some things in my mind as I'm focusing on something. So just having mood sort of beat music that's playing in the background has a soothing, but at the same time a very has a way of helping me focus on whatever it is that I'm trying to flesh out in my mind before I have to have a difficult conversation, or before I do a presentation, or just to help the time just go a little bit faster. So I'm really into sort of mood setting music. Some people call it not so much like elevator music, but let's say if you were going to go into like a lounge, and the purpose there is again to have conversation, but there's good music, good vibe, like a jazzy, funky type of vibe in the background that's playing. So again, a lot of like what's that, Glover Washington. A lot of stuff that he may play. Grover Washington Jr. That's the name. So just a lot of stuff that just kind of plays in the background as I'm doing. Sometimes when I'm working, like literally when I'm doing housework, a lot of times, or outside mowing the lawn or whatever, just kind of have that music just kind of playing in the background. It just helps me get through whatever it is that I got to get through. And it just keeps my mindset and my emotions up as I'm doing the task. Because again, some of these tasks can get very tedious, and so just having a good vibe and just having a good attitude as you're doing it. People used to talk about whistle while you work. Just something that just kind of keeps you motivated as you're going through whatever it is. It just makes whatever you have to do, even though you don't want to do it, it just makes it go through it just that much better. So again, I
agree with, you don't need lyrics for the music. Like a nice score on like a soundtrack. Like call me whatever. I even put in the original Superman soundtrack in the background sometimes.
Great. Yeah.
And people look at me like, are you really listening to Superman? Like, yes, I fucking am. Got a problem with that?
Yeah.
Very simple. I'm like, or even Star Wars. You can't tackle a score without talking about soundtrack. One of the best musicians for scores was John Williams. Thank you, John Williams. You can't have a conversation without talking about him.
Right. Probably he's my favorite artist of all time, just in terms of just coming out with music. When you talk about Star Wars, when you talk about Superman, when you talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark, just hit after hit. The Jaws soundtrack, just very uplifting that gives gives such an excitement to whatever it is that that's going on in the scene itself. It's almost like you can't imagine a movie without his music in it. If you tried to score it to something else, it's like it's not the same movie anymore. So he definitely is certainly. I have several collections, John Williams greatest hits sort of collections of a lot of his stuff, and yeah, I mean I can listen to that stuff nonstop, for the entire album. So absolutely, he's definitely one of my favorite, certainly my favorite composer of all time. But movie soundtracks, to your point earlier, yeah, absolutely, that can help. I love some of the Star Trek soundtracks that came over the years. Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, or The Search for Spock, or some other soundtracks like that. And absolutely, those things help me, certainly get through the day if I'm pondering something that's very mentally challenging. And sometimes just having those things on in the background really help out. But one thing that also I've gotten into as of late is simply noise. So you have like white noise, you have brown noise, you have green noise. Like if I really have to like study something, so forget even the music setting me into something. If I got to, do a deep dive into some highly technical documentation, or really, preferring for something, just playing ambient sound. So, for example, the sound of like an airliner. Like, so if you go to YouTube now, you can play like an airline sound, like of a passenger jet with call dings on it. Like, it reminds you like when you're on a plane or something. It just really just helps me focus and just drown out any, because especially when my mind is very active, it's like if I have difficulty turning on, because I'm sure you're like me, like you just get random stuff just comes to your head for no reason. It's like, why are you even thinking about that? And so oftentimes what the noise does is that it helps to drown out those thoughts. And so I stay locked into whatever it is that I'm doing. I'll even play it a lot of times, even when I go to bed, when I go to sleep, I'll play some white noise or some brown noise just to help turn my mind off. Because especially if I'm kind of amped up before bed, it may take me like an hour or so before I fall asleep. But if I put that music on, or that sound on, it also helps it to kind of block out, so then I can just fall asleep naturally. But if I'm thinking about what I got to do the next day, or just just the nervousness or stress or whatever's coming on, then a lot of times I get off certainly I get off focus. Some guys here that drop some stuff in the chat. Some guys talking about obviously having a variety of different playlists. So you get Blaze McCrory, again, good to have you back in the live chat. And again, I certainly appreciate you following. So he talks about, as far as for rock goes, again, Penny Royalty Live by Nirvana. So again, great songs there. Anton, again, he's like me. He has a variety of everything. So he's a fan of Linkin Park. So maybe the one show we need to get him on. So again, Linkin Park, Public Enemy, Metallica, AC/DC, BB King and Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Pavarotti, Monserrat. So he's all over. My man Eric, again, Aura by Miles Davis. Absolutely, that's a great one. Mariana, again, Effervescence, Bring Me Back to Life, 2003, lead singer Amy Lee. So again, everybody.
She had a great voice. Like, I'm surprised she can get further, but she came into the era when Linkin Park just got hot, and they were just coming in, and that they were picking packing right behind them. And I think that's what happened. And like, I think she still has a good following, but not one near like Linkin Park and other bands. Unfortunately, she's good, but not that good. Like, let me rephrase that. She's really good. I mean, you couldn't do what she does, but she never got the traction like she should have. If it can make sense what I'm saying? But you know, one thing we didn't talk about. I know this is gonna be corny. I know I'm gonna get heat for this one. Ready? Disney soundtracks. They have some really good songs with some of the movies, and some hit home if you really think about it. Go, you can give me shit for it.
No, go ahead. I mean,
like one song. I can't remember if it's a Disney movie or not. It's Hercules. I know. Of course, a Greek movie. You guys are gonna say it's not the movie I want to talk about. It's a song called "Going to the Distance." If you actually listen to the lyrics, he's trying to find a home for himself. He's going to the distance to find something for himself. Is that what most men do anyway? Think about it. You just want to find somewhere you belong and call yourself home, your workplace or your house or whatever.
Yeah,
Do
I
I need
mean,
to say more?
yeah, absolutely. You know, a
Yeah.
song that's maybe not in the Disney category, but there's one song that actually I didn't like until I heard a revision of it, and this is definitely showing my age, going back to the back to the '80s.
Please don't tell me
Um,
Popeye.
what's that?
Don't tell me Popeye. I'm gonna laugh at you.
No, not Popeye, but from I guess the Wizard of Oz, "Somewhere Over the Rainbow."
Okay.
Okay, now, like I said, I wasn't a fan of the song per se until there used to be this show that used to come on TV called Star Search. All right, so again, if you're an old head, if you're Gen X or beyond, you remember the show Star Search. It was basically like America's Got Talent, or what's the other big show with the reviewers and whatnot. What was the first big show that came out like in the 2000s? We got America's Got Talent.
Talent.
What was the other one? Was the guy with Simon? What was the show that Simon was on?
Star Search. I think halfway saying that. And
Yeah,
it's
Star
that,
Search. Yeah, Star Search. So there was this guy Sam Harris who basically was the champion. I guess this might have been like 1985, 1986 or whatever when he was out. Sam Harris, he won like the grand championship, and the song that he sung every time, American Idol. Thank you, Anton. So he always sing a version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But his was just like, I hear that song today and I get, for whatever reason, I get very emotional when I hear his version of it. Not the Judy Garland version of it, but when I hear his. So my wife and I, especially when we're in the car, she starts singing. Like, I don't sing per se. I rarely sing.
oh, thank God.
Yes. So he didn't give me that. But she sings. She don't care. She can't sing at all, but she don't care. She's just singing. She just sings her heart or whatever. So when that song comes on, it gets her also. So both of us were in the car. I'm emotional, but I'm not singing. She's emotional, but she starts singing it though. And so, so again, his version, Sam Harris, his version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, to this day, I get a lump in my throat every time I hear it. It's just the way he does it. He hits these crazy notes like at the end of the song where his voice literally reverberates. It goes to the I mean, it's just he just takes his vocals to this level that's like, if you didn't know it, it was like you thought it was sampled or they did some dub or something like that on it. But really impactful. But that's something where I just feel like the car, if I'm listening in the car, like the car just kind of lifts off the ground. Every time I hear it.
So
That's probably
I got two things behind that right now. You give me 2 good points right now. I was doing good too. So with music, now Disney's in a point of transforming. Literally, I mean, use that word for a reason, from a actual cartoon into real life. Nothing wrong with that. Some of the Aladdin songs I'm gonna refer to as Will Smith version for now, so we know which one we're talking about. The Will Smith version movie, it wasn't bad, but like the Whole New World, that is actually still, both versions are very good songs.
Yeah.
And if you just have, again, take time and listen to the lyrics, forget the background music.
Yeah.
Lyrics part, just listen to it.
Right.
And we all know King Smith, obviously, from we he's a good friend to the channel, BMU's and mine. He's a personal friend of mine. His daughter, I remember when I met her, she started singing one day. I looked over and I'm like, "That's your daughter?" He goes, "Yeah." "You sure she's gonna mix up in birth and you gave you the wrong kid by accident?" He goes, "No way, that's your DNA." I went to him. He goes, King gave me a smart comment about it, obviously, and I expected it. But she performs, and that girl, I have told him multiple times, dude, you can fuck everything up in your life, but you did a great job with her. Your life can be fucked up, but you always make sure his kid is always number one. And taking her to the art stuff, that was the thing she wanted to do. She's into music, acting, all that stuff. I'm like, holy shit, look at this little girl. I'm like, and she's really fucking good. Her voice is like extremely good, bro. And like the way he just said, he says echo, she can't do that. I'm like, how? like some way how these artists sing it, I still don't understand it to this day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I try
Absolutely.
like I did a little karaoke myself in the car, and I can't. I would never sing in public.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
mean,
even ask me.
I may rap a little bit to something, but singing, like, very rarely will I, or I may mouth it. Like, I'm very good at lip syncing. I can get into it and I can lip sync and all that kind of stuff. That's not a problem. I could have been Milli Vanilli when they had hair back then. So I definitely could have did that. But as far as the singing part, I'm not, as much into. But yeah, but there's certain songs that get you. Now again, Anton, shout out to him. Now again, we also talk about moments. So Anton saying, whenever I hear Linus and Lucy, I tend to tear up. My grandmother and I will watch a a Charlie Brown Christmas. Again, that was like staple. You watched it's Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown, the Halloween Charlie Brown, and then again the Christmas Charlie Brown. That was something where everybody huddled around the TV, and we watched that every year. Facts. So again, ever since she passed away in 1997, I still cry when I watch it. Yeah, I mean, there's just certain things that you remember at the time, the people that you did it with, and when they're not there, again, those songs that tie you, to tradition. Absolutely, that can affect you in certain ways. Certainly, sorry to hear about certainly the passing of your of your grandmother. But yeah, but that stuff binds you as well. Those songs you would sing sing a lot of stuff. I still like, even from Charlie Brown Christmas, the ballad, "Oh Christmas Tree," or the Christmas Time Is Here, the piano version. I got that on my playlist now, especially when I'm in the wintertime when I'm walking my dog. A lot of times I will play that as I'm walking my dog. That pianist from the Charlie Brown cartoons. I mean, just really beautiful music. Is timeless in terms of application. So definitely, some of them old. So yeah, those cartoon type movies or Charlie Brown or whatever. Absolutely, yes. Vince, a Giraldi trio. Absolutely, that was some great. Some great music that they would have for that, for that series. And yeah, and I think the game has certainly moved up for a lot of these movies now, whether it be Disney or anything else. I mean, the artists. Just think about the artists that they're bringing in to do these soundtracks now. So they better be good, because they're putting major heavy hitters behind a lot of these. A lot of these soundtracks now, and again, I think that was one of the things I think in the '80s that changed. I think a lot, because prior to the 80s, I don't remember like a lot of movie music being like mainstream like that. But when you had in the 80s, when MTV came out, you started really having the music and the movie and the music videos all coming out together. In fact, a lot of the music videos were oftentimes tracks from the movie. So like, I know there was a recent, Beverly Hills Cop movie, Axel F. That just came out a few months ago on Netflix. Oh yeah,
Netflix.
But again, the original, go back to 1984. When that movie came out, that Axel F song was like everywhere, and the soundtrack itself. Again, if you watch the music video, it's mostly scenes from the movie, interspersed with the artist at the time on his synthesizer or keyboard or whatever, and that's how so again, it was like you couldn't separate anymore music from the video. I remember 1985 when A View to a Kill from James Bond came out, when Duran Duran came out with A View to a Kill. The movie, it wasn't my favorite Bond movie, but the soundtrack itself, when they came out to that just exploded. And that was like the number one hit song, I think, of the, I forget, I don't know if that movie came out in the summer or the fall or whatever, but that was a major release by Duran Duran. So yeah, the merger of music with movies.
I'll give you three
really
examples
took place in that time.
Right now.
Yeah.
One, we already spoke about Rocky, Eye of the Tiger. That was a great video. They released on MTV. I'm too young to remember that, but they came out with a music video. I know that fact because I've seen it all over YouTube. Yeah. Ghostbusters. I don't know if they made a video about it, but I know the song was popping back then.
Yeah. No, it was major. It was like major radio play. I mean, it was again one of the hit songs. Certainly, like I said, of that time. You heard it on radio all the time. Eye of the Tiger, as we talked about. Definitely, it was fire. And so again, but that's those major songs. Like I said, Axel F. They played that as much as they could on black radio stations. They were playing it. I mean, it was so crossover and mainstream.
I know Danger Zone from Top Gun was a hit.
Yes,
and that he originally made that song for the movie.
Yes,
and then like, can you do an? He actually ended up doing.
Well, he also did Footloose, right? Footloose was a huge hit, also. Yeah.
Playing with the boys. Playing with the boys on the beach scene. He was not supposed to make that song, but the guy who was supposed to make that song backed out, and they had no song. So he went to literally grab some paper and wrote it right on the script right there on the spot, and he winged it.
Right.
And then he added more to it, obviously. Absolutely. So there are a lot of good songs out there.
Yeah. Speaking in that same vein, one of my favorite, and this is in terms of inspirational songs, like what I will oftentimes play either prior to training or whatever is from the Karate Kid. You're the best, right?
It's part of my soundtrack, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, interesting, that song was supposed to be played in Rocky. So you talk about Eye of the Tiger. It was actually, it was, You're the Best was supposed to be in Rocky 3, but then they changed it to Eye of the Tiger. So imagine how that would have come out. I mean, I'm glad they kept it the way it was, but I don't think You're the Best gets as much is as notable as Eye of the Tiger, but it was still a great song for the movie, and I play that in my playlist all the time. So yeah, absolutely,
And again, it's a great song. There's nothing wrong. Some of the new version of Creed, I gotta find the song. I think it's Running. Yeah, it is Running. It's a new version of the song Running. And it's a good. So he starts with the classic song, and then it goes into a rap song.
Yeah,
I think you really would like that song. You're like, when I get up and running.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely that's definitely in my my playlist. The original, what's that?
The new one?
What it just came out, or are you talking about?
It came out during Creed 2, actually.
Okay,
so it's called Running. With Jacob Banks. I may pronounce that wrong. The name. So that's the name of the song. I'll send it to you on the back shot right now, so you can.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Now, Anton, we're gonna have to disagree. Look, as good Rocky 4 being the best Rocky movie, I gotta say it's got to be 3. Come on. First of all, you had Hulk Hogan, all right, Thunder Lips. You had the baddest guy in Clubber Lang, Mr. T, the Mohawk. You had Eye of the Tiger. You had Creed and Apollo Creed and Rocky combining forces running on the beach. You got the speech by Adrian. What's the truth? Tell me the truth. I mean, all those elements combined, I got to give 3. 3 was that's to me that's how it's for me. But 4 was bad too. I still look, anytime I got to go out and shovel snow, like, especially we're being in Jersey, so we've had like 2-foot snowstorms and whatnot. So I got to get out there for like several hours with my snow thrower and all that kind of stuff. And yes, I will put the Rocky 4 soundtrack on because especially when you're out there, the training montage music or whatever, absolutely get Hearts on Fire. I will put those on while I'm shoveling snow or while I'm using my snowblower outside. Absolutely. So I would agree with.
Here's a question I got for you now. Do you feel Rocky 4 has the better soundtrack versus 3?
The better soundtrack, yes, because there really weren't, outside of Eye of the Tiger, the rest of the Rocky, the rest of the soundtrack was either borrowed from other movies, or they just wasn't as good. Getting ready for the fight, it was okay, but it really didn't take off. But I think that but
On the Fly Now wasn't a really good big hit, but that was actually supposed to be a theme song of. And Going the Distance, it was supposed to be the 2 theme songs for Rocky's movie, beginning and end.
Well, yeah, I mean, they borrowed a lot from the previous films. That's what I'm saying. So I think the Rocky 4 soundtrack had, I guess, a wider selection of, again, original songs that might not have been in the, since the original Rocky. Because the original Rocky soundtrack I can put on and play forever. I like, Reflections. I talked about mood music earlier, like a song that I can just when I get up in the morning and I'm just going through my paces, getting ready, getting a shower, all that kind of stuff, I'll put Rocky's Reflections on. And it's if you listen to it, it sounds a lot like Summer Madness from Kool and the Gang. There's a lot of elements in that song that were similar to that from Kool and the Gang Summer Madness, which is another chill track that I love listening to. Like, again, if I just want to be in that kind of chill mode, reflective, introspective, or whatever, I'll put Summer Madness on as I'm driving and I'll just loop it. Because I just like the oral nature, what they're doing with the reverbs, with the music. You don't know where the cues are coming through. They seem to bounce the music from one side to another. It's a very sort of immersive experience when you are listening to it. So absolutely. Did Frank Stallone play on a soundtrack for Rocky?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I know he did. Didn't he do he did the soundtrack for that sequel to Saturday Night Fever? I think it was called Staying Alive. I know he did the main soundtrack from that. Not sure if he did anything specifically for Rocky. At least not the original soundtrack for Rocky. Anyway, he might have had a song, on one of the latter movies, but nothing that I recall that was memorable. From that, but certainly the Staying Alive soundtrack, he was, that was his big break, and that was his big, hit. He kind of came out to, from that, from my recollection.
I think you're right. I don't know 100% off my head, to be honest, because I don't follow him like that, if that makes sense. Frank.
He was never like a major star. I mean, I think some of his stuff may just came off his brother, which is fine. I mean, hey. If you got a name, use it, absolutely. But I think the Staying Alive soundtrack, I think that was his.
Here's another good song for you. Maybe you remember this. This is from your age, right? Everybody Dance Now.
It was definitely reflective of the times. I think it might have got to a point where they might have played it up too much. But everybody, you had CNC Music Factory. So if you want to talk about like that dance music from like the late 80s and early 90s or whatever, that was certainly a big thing. But as far as in that time, now this is something that I'm definitely, if I said there was a genre that, again, I can get in a car and drive several hours and play on, regardless of it, Chicago house music.
Really?
I am a house head. So you want to talk about "Girl, I'll House You" by the Jungle Brothers, or Inner City, or any of that stuff from then. That 90s dance music, and basically they were putting people, they were doing like the Milli Vanilli thing, because in the music videos they had these skinny women who were supposedly singing in the video, but it was them big overweight black women who used to sing in the church and all that kind of stuff. Those were the balladeers. Those were the ones actually singing it. But then, thanks for that clarification. Yeah, Frank Stallone, take you back. Yeah, thanks. Good call out there. Good call out. But those were the ones who were actually singing it. But because they weren't marketable, they didn't put them in the music videos. But we all know that it was those sisters who were really singing the tracks to those songs. And he was they just sort of took advantage, but they were doing that Milli Vanilli thing back then, so that was just the genre. But Chicago house is
So I know you mentioned Karate Kid earlier. So in Cobra Kai, they did a remake of the song "Two Summers." I don't know if you remember that.
Cruel Summer that was on the Karate Kid. Yeah, that was Bananarama. Yeah,
I love the remake they did for the Cobra Kai show. I really love it. I like the remake better. I think the original is good. Do not get me wrong. I think it's a very good song, like a 9 out of 10 easily. But the Cobra Kai was 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Again, that's my flavor, of course. Where I want to bounce off this now is, I'm gonna say it is in the background. I have the posters hanging up. Video game soundtracks, like, I know that I can't play anything more than that because I don't want to get copy strike again. Thank you, YouTube. But my point is trying to get to, we still got copy strike. I don't want to be a mute coming yelling at me with his Texas here. I'm gonna you son of a bitch. Yeah, I wonder if that's a lasso or like somebody or go to the little hoop thing we see the text in. Too much.
So, yeah,
Too
very much.
Yeah, I want to know if he rides a horse. That's what I want to know next. I'm gonna call him and ask him if he rides a horse or something.
There you
Anyway, but the soundtracks, like one of my favorite games is called Devil May Cry. They did a fourth one recently. The soundtrack is fire is an understatement. It will burn a goddamn building down. That's how good it is. And they hired a real musician.
Bro, what's the game? What's the video game?
Demons pretty much killing demons. They're fighting with the angels and fighting. It's pretty much angels versus demons, but demons, two demons went on the good side, our side, and fighting for us. So it's called Devil May Cry. Kind of makes sense. The title.
Gotcha.
So the song is very good, and they came out like a lot of songs. It's not only one song. No, they hired a lot of people to sing different kind of songs. Like here's a script. Here's your section. Make a song out of it. They went to him. Okay, easy enough. Easy enough. You're fucking kidding me, right? Like you have, forget it, just words. You got even without words, like scores. Mario Bros. For example, Zelda, Metal Gear Solid. Should I keep going?
Yeah. I mean that there's I have a few, okay, that I do have on playlist.
Oh, please tell.
Well, probably my favorite soundtrack of all time is Shinobi, right? 1987, the video game Shinobi. Certainly that's there. I liked, and this is from the NES port, so this wasn't even from the video game. And my man Eric, who's been following us tonight, he knows this very well. There was a video game on Nintendo NES called Rygar. And the soundtrack
Why does that sound familiar for some reason?
There was a video game, like an arcade game, so it was a port of it. But what they did on the NES is like one of the classic, because it's like it plays throughout the entire game. Like every stage has a different song on it. So it's not just a re-sample of anything else. It is a complete soundtrack from beginning to end. There's another one of my favorite soundtracks is from the video game Contra. So again, in Contra, there was a again, it's from end to end. And back then, what was cool about the games is that they always did, if you got to the end of the game, you beat the final boss, or you saved the girl and rescued the kingdom, they do this big flourish to kind of close it out. So again, those are some classic ones. I know, obviously the Mario Brothers, certainly when that was out, and I know they actually did a lot of remixes, a lot of rap beat remixes of the Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers soundtrack. But those are probably my big three. So again, right, Shinobi, you got Rygar, and also another one. That again, Contra. Those are probably like my three biggest ones, where I have like I have like the whole soundtrack from end to end. So when you first power up the game or put your coin in to play it, to the end when you beat the final bad guy or whatever, and get the victory song and the end credits of all of the programmers and all those people who developed the game. Absolutely, that was that was definitely amongst my favorites in terms of soundtracks. Absolutely, and I like I said, I have a whole list of video game titles and whatnot that I'll play. Yeah,
they can go. Oh, you're gonna go when I say these names, right? Ready? First one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Not enough variety. I mean, you had wasn't crazy, but I mean, you certainly knew it when you hear it, because
it rings. Okay.
But it was weird. It was weird with that game because I used to live in an apartment complex above a corner confectionery store, so they had the video games in there, and you could hear the games from upstairs, like do 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 do. So it was like, I think it might have been burned into my psyche, because again, you knew when someone was playing Donkey Kong because again that soundtrack was you just recognize, you just know when you heard it. So yeah.
Just give me an idea. This is a crazy idea popped in my head right now.
Mhm.
Imagine if back when arcades were very popular, and they're coming back now, but when they were really popular back in the 80s and 70s, right? If you live on like say you would live under an arcade all night long, what you'd be hearing? How much your life would suck then?
Oh, probably. I mean, yeah.
Think about
But speaking now again, I think I might have mentioned it on on one of your shows, your Hangout show.
Yeah.
But there is in New Jersey, New York area, there are places that you can go that have all of the classic arcade games. You pay one price and you play all day if you want to, or you can play per hour. Any game that you want. They got ping pong. They got pinball machines. They got, they have consoles. So they got these big couches in there. You can sit at the console, take a game out the cartridge, put it in, and play your game, whether it's the CD or whatever. So they got Sega, they got Xbox, they got all that, and they got the standard arcade games. I forget, it's something capades. I forget something escapades or something like that. But they got 4 locations in New Jersey, and my wife and we stumbled upon one in Metuchen, and I was like in heaven when I saw it. So yeah. So if you want to kind of relive some of that stuff from back in the day, there's certainly places that are doing. The only question I'm asking myself is why they didn't come out just 40 years ago? Because I mean, you used to look forward as a kid going to the arcade. That was like a big thing when, if you had like $5 from your mom or whatever, you were like, hey, I'm going to the arcade. I'm going to hang out there for a while. And, depending on your skill set, you either came back in an hour, you came back several hours later, depending on your skill set. But absolutely, but that when I saw that concept, I was like, oh man, if you're definitely Gen X or you just like the classics, it's definitely definitely a place like that is certainly the place for you. I'll try to find the name of it. Before the
you gave it to me last time, and I showed you it was not too far. I looked at the price; it wasn't too bad. And we talked about it in a hangout. So on my show, my channel, it wasn't. I think it was not bad, dude. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a great deal. You can do parties there. So if you want to order food there and have it. I mean, they had all kinds of things. They had pool tables if you're into that. I mean, so it was just a hangout type of place in the truest sense of the word. But let's get back to the music. Is there music that you listen to that when you're in, I'm gonna call it like a sad place or a place that makes you very introspective about life or the choices that you've made or what have you? Like, are there songs that you listen to that give you? So we talked about songs that inspire. So Eye of the Tiger and You're the Best and all those songs that kind of give us that. But what about some of the songs that really give you, when you're in I guess I would call it maybe sort of a dark place or a contemplative place,
like a funk. I call it a funk.
And that and the song helps you. Look, it's not going to bring you out of your funk, but it's like it's the right mood. It represents the mood that you're in. And likewise, if you're angry about something, is there a song that brings that emotion out of you in terms of like makes you more like, this is how I'm feeling, like Eminem, he had songs like that, right? I mean, he had songs like Stan and whatnot, and
it really depends what's going on,
right?
Like when years ago when one of my exes broke up, the first song I want to put on is "I Hate Everything About You" by Through Grace, and that was my song for a while. For that, then it depends again. Hero was one of them from Spider-Man. The other one was trying to think of the name of it now. Monster. It really depends. I have so many of them, so it's not one. It's a few. It's not fair for me to say one song. It's a few because it depends what's going on at that moment. Very important to me because it could be just something stupid. I'm just in a funk. Maybe it's just down in the weather. It's getting winter again. It's getting cold. Like, fucking hate winter. Like kind of like a funk, and just plain funk. Or it could be an emotional funk. You know what I'm saying? It could be a beer funk. I'm having a bad beer day or a bad hair day. You don't know that anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, yeah, I do. Like one of the songs I love is from what's his name? Michael Jackson. I Don't Care About Us.
Mhm.
That is very strong words right there. Think about it. Because like when I worked at a prison, that song, I always thought it was very important, very strong words. But when I worked for the jail, that made more sense than ever. That song is completely what the inmates go through.
Right.
Another one is The Whole World in My Hands, the Bray Wyatt theme song. When he died, that shit that would like hit me hard because I just was watching him a couple of weeks ago on TV, and then all of a sudden, like, he's dead. The fuck? Like, Hit the Road Jack by 2WEI. I can't, that's a new. They remake songs like, of Johnny Cash. Ain't no grave can hold me down. How Come from Eminem, D12. Not really that one. Okay, Tattoo. All the things she said about me. Another great song. Sweet Dreams.
Oh, Eurythmics?
Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson.
Oh, okay.
I like the remake better than the
original.
original.
Although that song, but again, that song though, by the Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I traveled around the 7 seas. That song, if you're like kind of in a funk, that is one of those songs you be listening to when you're in that kind of place. That's the kind of stuff that.
I'm not saying the original's not good. I think it's a great song. Again, it's 9 out of 10 for me. That's a 10 out of 10. Again, different folks for different flavors. Another one. I'll give you two more, and I'll move on. NF. I miss the days, and the last one is No Time for Emotions. Do I need to say more? Or to raise my case?
Yeah.
What about you? What would you pick?
Well, again, Eurythmics. The Unrighteous Truth. Talking about smiling faces. Sometimes pretend to be your friend. Smiling faces. I'm having too much. Yeah, but that's a big one.
I personally use YouTube Music because anything I have on my YouTube not my channel, my personal YouTube account, it goes right into my YouTube Music. So, and it's because I'm grandfathered in because I had YouTube before YouTube was a thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, so a lot of this music I have it right here on my other screen. If that makes sense. So it's easier for me versus you. It looks like you have it on the old iTunes. It sounds like.
Yeah. Another song that's really contemplative. That's like really gets me like thinking about perspective, right? Especially when you have kids. Is Harry Chapman, Cats in the Cradle. Cats in the Cradle and Silver Spoon, Little Boy Blue and Man on the Moon. When you come home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. So again, that song really was about, again, we talked about a couple shows ago, we talked about parenting, right? We talked about, being a father, being a parent. What does it mean? And how a lot of times we can let the busyness of life get in the way of, spending time with our kids. And making sure that they're whole, or they become when we want to be able to hang out with them when we're older, we can because they're already doing their own thing, so we don't have that connection. So it definitely, I think that song certainly over the years has always taught me about the importance of relationships and connection, especially with your kids that don't get so busy all into the work all the time that you lose that. You lose that connection with your kids. So that's one of those songs that kind of taught me something, certainly over the years, as far as parenting. I think that's definitely one of those, songs that helps to, get you reflective about, important things in life. Another song that, again, this is from a soundtrack, Gran Torino from the movie Gran Torino. So that was Clint Eastwood. This is the guy talking about get off my lawn, that kind of guy, whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
I remember
The
that.
song, the song at the end, again, it just does something to me all the time. We're basically talking about a life that that was in a lot of ways just wasted. That the only thing that the guy could really hold on to, because in the movie he was disconnected. His wife died. He was disconnected from his kids because they were off doing whatever, and he was kind of old school. Whatever. The only thing that kind of gave him joy in life was a Gran Torino that he owned, a classic. I think he worked like at a GM or Ford plant or something like that, and that was like the only thing that kind of gave him any kind of sense of belonging, or something that they could finally. So it's kind of sad that he was reduced to that there, but it was just a lot of just wasted time. And I think that song really, again, I hear it now, and it's just the piano melody of it and whatnot. It just really, it just puts you again in a very sort of contemplative state. So that there's definitely songs that are out there that Otis Redding, sitting on the dock of the bay. Now what's ironic about that song was that yes, Jamie Cullum, Clint Eastwood, and that was weird hearing Clint Eastwood actually sing on the song. That was weird at first, but I thought he did a decent job with it actually at the end of the song. But Otis Redding,
I didn't know he sings.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. Now, what's crazy about that is that I think he had died shortly. Like I think the song wasn't finished. All right, this is kind of like almost like urban legend. The song wasn't finished, so at the end of the song, there's this whistling that takes place at the end of the song. But when I understand, the song was never finished. But again, it was about a man who was kind of like at the end, like hopeless, And I remember listening to that song a lot of times when I thought early on, when it didn't look good for me in terms of just, especially growing up, dealing with my mom and, just all the things that were going on. And I just remember that song, even as a kid, that song would oftentimes play. And when I would get into these modes, for whatever reason, that song would always come up. But I didn't hear about the backstory of that song in terms of, that until the very end of the, until I got older and found out a little bit more about him. But he had died suddenly, and no one really knows how he died. Did he delete himself or whatever it was? But it was just such a song. But again, very powerful. Again, very very emotional in terms of its content. So I mean, there's all kinds of another one, and this is probably the biggest one, and I'm sure you know this very well. Again, Prince and the Revolution, When Doves Cry.
Oh yeah,
but listen to the lyrics of the song. I mean, it's just like, how can you just leave me standing low when the world is so cold? Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father.
Oh, don't get us strike, please, again.
We get struck for singing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
And
wow. But that song was like, I mean, as a kid, we would be singing the song just, because it was cool to sing. But there was a lot of songs like when you got older, it just meant something differently to you. Like when you really start, to your earlier point, when you start like paying attention to the lyrics of the song, not just going with it because it sounds good, it just changes the perspective. Like a lot of those love ballads back in the day, like Every Breath You was like by the Police, Every Breath You Take, Every Move That You Make. Yeah, I mean, it's in the 80s. It's like, yeah, you're singing it and whatnot, but that was like a stalker song, right? I mean, the guy was. I mean, that was just a very non-PC song. But I mean, it was a stalker song. The guy was not, and they used to play that because I remember growing up. And again, I hate to share this, but yeah, I don't care. I'm too old to care about.
You were stalking or something.
I'm too old to care. So back in the day, I used to watch some soap operas back in the day, and there was a soap opera, All My Children, and there was the storyline with Jenny, and I forget the other forget the other guy. There was Jenny, and you had this guy who basically kidnapped Jenny or whatever, and they played that song. Well, he was motivated to capture her, and he would play that song "Every Breath You Take" by the Police, and that like played like throughout the whole summer or whatnot. And they finally got her and everything, but it was pretty pretty sad. But that was like I couldn't listen to that song the same way after that storyline. It's like, man, this is like, you got some stalkers out there talking about you belong to me and stuff, and they actually going to they use that as a justification to kidnap women. So that one I was like, yeah, I had to pull away from that one. But you're right. I drive my kids crazy today when I listen to certain songs, and I almost like as a joke, just to rub it in. Like I recite the lyrics, but I cite the lyrics in a very literal tone, just to kind of let them know how ridiculous this song is. So wait a minute. So you mean to say, okay, so he took the girl to this and he did this and that or whatever? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And then my girls are just like roll their eyes. It's like, Dad, you're ruining the song. But I'm like, make sense of the lyrics here. Like this doesn't make any sense to me.
You know who just remind me of the episode of Full House with Uncle Jesse singing to the donkey, and he didn't know words. The Three Company song. He was he's singing. That's how the way you just said it. That reminded me of him for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Got to throw another one in the mix here because you got me going through my song list, and like I said, I'm sorry, I'm a huge '80s head. So again, I got to throw this song in there.
It's the reason why I want to talk about it. You were like, I don't know at first.
Okay.
Remember?
All right. So here we go.
I was here. I was right going.
The song is from the band Yes, and it was called "Owner of a Lonely Heart." And for my man Eric, he knows that song very well because that was the theme song from Roddy Piper back in the early days of it when he came to the WWF. They used to play that song all the time.
I got a better one for both of you. I got one for you and Eric. Mr. Roboto.
That was a good one. That was a good one. But it didn't put me in that funky mood though. I mean, "Owner of a Lonely Heart," that would put you like in a certain mood.
I say good song. I say funky. I say good song.
Okay. Yeah, but that was Mr. Robot. Yeah, that was definitely a classic. That was definitely a classic one. So what type of song would you play if you had to? Because I know you practiced martial arts, so you had to go into a fight. What are you playing? What's on your playlist before you? What would be your ring? Okay, what would be? And people in the chat also put it in the chat. What would be your theme? Your walkout song? What would you walk to the ring with if you had to get into the ring? What are you walking out to? So,
because I thought about this a lot. I actually have a playlist against this, you fucker. So, first of all, Master Ray was a big Rocky fan, so we trained to the Rocky soundtrack. Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, I am not walking out of the Rocky soundtrack. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. POD had a song called Boom. That was one song I thought. What's his goddamn name? The guy who played in Queens or something. He played. He did a UFC movie. He was a teacher, and he got his ass kicked all the time. I can't remember the name of the movie now. Mm-hmm. Here Comes a Boom. It's something like that. It was the theme song for that. His entry song. I go, Nope, not happening now. Change song. So let me find my playlist really fast because I have a good amount of lists here. Because I have a couple. Here it is. All right. Scroll down. Papa Roach, The Warriors. That was one of them I was thinking about. Mm-hmm. Mortal Kombat had to be in my list, but it has to be the techno new version of it.
You walked into the ring with that?
Fuck yeah!
It's not ominous. I'm thinking something like ominous or whatever. Like, so again, this is your ring walk.
Wait, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting warmed up here. Rom Zombie, Man Without Fear.
Okay.
If you want one of those,
I can see that one.
Keep going. Nope. Two Steps from Hell. Black Heart. It's no lyrics, but the song hits home when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Every Day by Bon Jovi.
Okay.
I don't know why that song. From Adventure soundtrack is the Endgame trailer music. I think that's hits home too.
Right.
Warriors by Imagine Dragon. In the End by Linkin Park.
Oh, okay.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was in there somewhere. I was thinking like, I didn't say anything about Linkin Park since the beginning of the show. What the hell happened here?
All right.
And that's
but you got it.
Monster is another one from Skillet.
Okay. But you got to pick one. You got to pick one. This is your ring walk. Your ring walk is going to be about 2 minutes. So this is the one. And coming down and stepping into the ring is the Ghost of Sparta.
I gotta pick a Linkin
so
Park.
You got your robe on. You got your the hood over your face and whatnot. You got your gloves on, your mitts or whatever. You're doing with your crew.
I'll
walking
tell
to the
you
ring.
why I want to use in the end by the remix version. When it starts slow, I come out, have water in my mouth, hoodie down, like Turbo 8 kind of thing, and like power up.
Right.
Like,
and so what are you doing?
Yeah. I actually had a guy named Matthew who used to do something similar. He used to turn his back around, and I don't know why the fuck he do this. And you know the shit. I mean, every time we fought each other, he used to exhale the water like Triple H. He released this back spirits out and ready to do a combat. And I'm like, come like my goddamn hairy dick. I went to him like it's fucking nasty. I went to him. So every goddamn match he does that. I'm like, all right, dude. Enough of the waterfalls. But I see where he did. It was more a mind thing. It was like it looked cool. It was like kind of going like beast mode kind of thing and berserker. So I see why he's doing that.
I got you.
What about you? If you were a fighter, what song would you pick?
All right, so I'm a fighter. All right. So again, there's certain songs that just put me into a certain mood. 2 of them are by the same group, Cypress Hill. All right. So Cypress Hill is either going to be How I Can Just Kill a Man, or it's going to be Hand on the Pump. So, that when they start out with that do, that just it's on. It's on. So if I got to do that ring walk and they playing that beat in the background, it's on after that. It's like a mind switch that just so again, either one of those two is I'm walking to the ring with those, and it's not even close out there. If I'm going to be like in a combat sort of thing, now training, that's different. I can do something a bit more inspirational than that. But if I'm going in there, for a combative sport, it's going to be those two. Cypress Hill, when those guys dropped, me and the guys, we be in the car, like driving somewhere, whatever, and we're doing this like unconsciously. Like we about to go, like we Crips or Bloods, and we about to go to a. So it's like we got to turn this off, man, because it's just funking us up, basically. You know what I mean? We're just getting too funky here, and I don't want to bring that kind of energy to wherever we're going. But that was like, if you were going to do something like that, you would definitely play that. You would be getting yourself drugged up out of your mind and go and commit that act or whatever. But
you know what you just remind me of? Like, honor mentioning, I'll probably another song I might pick if I couldn't pick that song, a backup song of a backup because it's pretty heavy. If the original singer of Drying Pool, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. So he's
yeah, I can say that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
I think somebody actually used that for injury music in a UFC fight.
Absolutely, man. That's that would definitely take it there. All right, so we've covered.
Now, let me ask you a question before you go.
Yeah.
Would you be riding a low rider? And bouncing up and down,
not necessarily, but well, that's the crazy thing about it, because we would literally move as if we're in one of those rides, because in the rides they're going, so we're in the car like this, like all of us, like when they drop that Duke, we're like this in the car. It was like the craziest thing. So, or if I heard it, like somebody was like you're walking somewhere and a car drove by and they were playing it or whatever. You look at the car, you look at the guy in the car, he's doing the bob thing. We're outside walking, we're doing the bob thing. It's like, yeah, I see you. Yep. You about to do something, aren't you? It's like, yep. So it was, like I said, it was just crazy that yeah. So them Cypress Hill tracks, they like I said, they just had you thinking in different ways. So that's why I try not to listen to that one too much, or I may listen to the instrumental of it. But yeah, I try to stay away from that guy because again, that was dangerous. If you that just brought out the testosterone in you, like you want to hit some. You were saying like I'm about to mess some stuff up. You know what I mean? I'm just
the
using
one
the PC
song that kind of gets me sometimes. I know it's kind of cheesy, and I know a lot of people are not a fan of this series. Was the ending song with Paul Walker kind of driving away to I can't remember the name of the song. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, from the Fast and Furious series?
Yes, when Paul Walker's driving away.
Don't remember the song that they were playing there, but
you know what I'm talking about, at least, right?
Yeah.
That is a great song,
mm-hmm.
and even till we meet again, and it gets to me sometimes. I was listening to it, like, wow, man, that's powerful. It is a very powerful song because he's talking about like he might be past now, but eventually we're gonna meet again one day in heaven or afterlife, whatever you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
But just the way he says it was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and let me see if I can find the name of the song really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's gonna bug the shit out of me now.
All right, I'm gonna switch a little bit. So now Eric, he mentions Bohemian Rhapsody's Queen. That's a fun song. Bohemian Rhapsody is a very fun song, but contrasting to that, Who Wants to Live Forever, again, is one of those sort of contemplative songs. It puts you in a totally different mind frame where you're listening to it. It just takes you into like almost like another realm, not necessarily a positive one. Because again, if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's very.
The song called is "See You Again."
Okay.
Drop me.
I need to listen to that one. I haven't listened to that a while. But yeah, but Queen's "Who Wants to Live Forever," Freddie Mercury. I think that's definitely one of those songs that when you're in that space, when you're just like,
here's another one from Queens. Is like, all right, so we got "We Will Rock You," The Champions. What's the name of that song with La La La? It was about a radio. I can't remember. Hang on a second. It's in my playlist. This is gonna bug me now.
Mm-hmm. Like, Rocket Man, I think was it Rocket? Was Supersonic Man or Rocket? That was a good one. Also by Queen. I like that one. That's a fun song too.
That one I don't remember.
Yeah, Supersonic. Don't stop. Yeah, don't stop.
Yeah. Radio Gaga. I like that song from them
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me. Did you see the movie any chance?
See which movie now?
About Queens.
Oh yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. Great movie. Yeah. Terrific. Yeah. Very very good. That guy, that actor, he really nailed it. Yeah. That was one of the better soundtracks. Not soundtracks, but biographical movie. You have like movies about music artists and whatnot that I've seen over the years.
It was closer accurate, except the one from Queen, not Queen. Netflix did it from I can't remember the name of the movie now. They did a rock band. Those are the two movies I can say they were about 75% accurate. However, they're not gonna be 100% any movie. Like there's a movie again.
Mm-hmm.
But they were the closest ones.
Yeah, but I really appreciate it because a lot of these biopics by the artists, a lot of them come from like fans. Like I know like the Bob Marley movie came out like last year. Now it was certainly done by like the Marley family, so it was definitely like a sanitized version, so to speak, of his life. I mean, it definitely showed some stuff that I didn't know, but definitely they tried to put him like in the best image available possible. And but I think Bohemian Rhapsody, I thought they did a good job of showing everything, showing the flaws and everything. But I just thought it was very well done, very well cast, because some of those guys in the movie look so much like the guys from Queen. The big guy with the big hair, I mean, he looks so much like the guy in the band or whatnot. It's like, wow. So, and that's always been important to me. It's like when you cast a movie or you're gonna do a biopic, the people should look like the people that as we remember them, to the point where you think that that person literally is that person in the film. And so, you know, when you have movies that don't necessarily pay attention to that, so, oh, well, it's the acting, it's the performance. It's like, nah, I got to see the visual of it as well as the acting if I really want to sort of buy into it fully. So I appreciate that when movies do that. But let me switch gears a little bit as far as music. We're staying on music, but what kind of music? Is there any kind of music? And now, again, I know you're Greek Orthodox, so it may not be apply as much as it does, like certainly in African American space or whatever. But what kind of music affects you the most spiritually? Like, what is there a certain song or songs or type of music that really gets you thinking about God in a way that, you know, you feel like either you're like in the presence of God, or it starts making you think how grateful you are to God, or blessed by God, like something that puts you in that kind of space. Now, I know with black music, especially with, you know, we have gospel, we have all kinds of, you know, hymns and all kinds of music that speaks to that. We got, you know, in all kinds of genres. You got gospel rock, you got gospel rap, you got, you know, ballads, and, you know, all kinds of things that put you sort of in that mood. And going back to something that Anton was saying earlier about the Merry Christmas Charlie Brown, one of my favorite songs, Christian songs ever, was Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which was sung at the end of Charlie Brown Christmas. So again, I remember that as a kid, even though I wasn't even a Christian at the time, but I was just always fond of that song because of how it ended at the end. And obviously, as I came to faith, and as I started to, take on a different perspective and the meaning behind those songs, all of those sort of Christmas, Noel, the first Noel, Hark the Herald Sing, Glory, all those, songs, Oh Holy Night, really are songs that if I want to think about, like, especially the Christmas season, like if I want to think about Christ in the Christmas season, it's definitely those old school type of hymns that are going to put me in that mood. They get away from the commercialism and get away from all of the, the Christmas trees and all that kind of stuff, and just have me focus on God. But in you being a Greek Orthodox person, or, you might listen to contemporary Christian music, I don't know, but are there songs that really get you thinking, almost in prayer, or this thanksgiving, gratefulness to God for your life and where you are and the blessings, and just like what? And for the chat, I would like to know that too. If you are, for those who are of faith, and again, it doesn't have to be a Christian faith or whatever, but just those songs that really get you into that spirit of gratitude, if you are a believer, that really puts you into that mindset. I would like to know from the chat also, for those who have that kind of belief, what songs get you in that kind of mood, if you have.
Well, I don't listen to my private life because I don't have the time, because I have, my time is very minimum, and you know this. Mm-hmm. So when I do listen to my old school, I call it, for better terms, music is literally the same stuff I listen to church. Mm-hmm. Anytime my mom puts it on downstairs and I hear it, it reminds me of where I came from. It reminds me my roots. For a long time, I hated it, to be honest with you, because I grew up on it. I'm like, oh man, not this stuff again. Like, I hear it at church, I don't even hear it at home. Now,
right,
it's different.
Yeah, I mean, you grow up, you live some life, and I think that happens with a lot of kids.
And where, I got grayer too.
What's that?
I got grayer.
Yeah. But I think that's what happens with a lot of kids. You grow up in church, or you grow up around that music or whatever, and you just says, oh, this is so corny, this is the blah, blah, blah. But when you start living some life a little bit, and then again, you start thinking about the lyrics of a lot of those songs, and,
back in high school, what got me really close to God, if you want to put it, You know, people used to give you shit for I didn't care. Is Christian rock.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
it's not Orthodox rock, but it's fine. I got a little funny story to tell you one. So me and Father Cosino were it was like Christians getting together, Orthodox. It was little Greek Orthodox diner thing going on. You know, two priests were hosting. It was Father Costantino and Father Nick from XNP, I think was it, whatever.
Right.
So the group I'm sitting with, we're all talking. I turn around to Father, like, I know you're gonna hate this, but I listen to rock and roll, heavy metal, my man. And he goes, he's shaking his head like, Peter, I listen to heavy metal myself. I'm like, huh? He goes,
yeah.
You know, at church every day. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my heavy metal, Peter. He goes,
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, and it's funny. Someone said this to me one time, and I always remember, there's no such thing as Christian music. The only thing that exists is Christian lyrics. Now, what you put that to, as far as musically, that could be up to, again, the culture, the people, the times, or whatever. So I've never had an issue. And we were talking about this on Friday night, how certainly even in the church, there were times when certain music wasn't allowed. There were certain instruments that weren't allowed. Like, for example, back in the day, like, you know, some churches didn't allow you to play drums in the church. Or if you use like a Harmon organ or a bass guitar or an electric guitar, like things had to be, if it wasn't the church organ or the pipe organ or something like that, it was kind of like considered like secular music. So when, you know, especially with black music, you know, because again, black, you know, music, you have blues, you have jazz, you have rock and roll. When they started integrating that to form what we would consider gospel music today, a lot of that stuff was frowned upon by people, saying, okay, this is like some even called it demonic music.
It's funny you say that, because when I was younger, you know, as you're a kid, you're confused, you know, which right or left to go, up and down. Right. So it was a priest called, his name was Alex, you know, like Alexander pretty much. So I asked Father Alex, I go, you know, doing conversion, like, listen to heavy metal. People saying that's the Antichrist, it's the devil's music. He goes, well, Peter, technically it is. Like, oh shit, I'm going to fucking hell. I'm thinking to myself now, man, I listen to, as I got older, like, it's not the words. Excuse me, it is the words, but it's not the message. I'm not listening to Antichrist music saying die, die, die kind of thing, or kill, 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 kill. And like the worst song I have in my collection is called Burn Motherfucker. That's the worst song. So if that's the worst song I have listened to, I think I'm in good shape. But music is not going to judge me if I'm going to go through those gates or not. It's my actions, how I handle myself as a man, as a person, how's everything. And like, I don't judge you because you're green, white, blue, or right. This is why we do the gray area. Right, like, right. That's why one of my favorite songs from Michael Jackson is Black or Fucking White. Yeah, yeah. You know, I should take a fucking knife. I slice my arm. Paul, slice your arm. What comes out of it? Blood. We're from the same. You know, our face might be a little different how we believe it, but our goal end is the same: is God Himself. I'm trying not to use it in vain voice. I put myself there.
Careful. Pull back. Pull back.
You're rubbing off on me, man.
I hope so. But yeah, I think that, like I said, I mean, one of the themes that when we talk about this earlier before the show, again, music does put you, or it certainly does have the power to put you in a certain mood, right? Or certain, or thinking in certain ways, or what have you, good or bad. Like I said, I mean, if you were going to do a hit, you know, like a hit and run sort of thing or whatever, you might put on some Cypress Hill, you know. Now the question is listening to what extent does music influence your behaviors or not? I don't think that happens very often, quite frankly. Like, you know, just you can listen to a, you know, rock song or a rap song or whatever. Is that going to put you in a certain way? Some people give it more credit than I think it is, but I think a lot of it depends on what your overall value structure is. If you have a good home, if you raise with good values, if you're able to separate, distinguish, okay, this is this, and but this is who you are. Okay, so again, you should never let music affect you in ways that goes contrary to who you are as a person. And so, you know, so I think for a lot of people, they can make that sort of separation, But for some people, I know there's a lot of religious institutions that forbid their adherents to listen to certain music, or that you should only listen to Christian music, or you should only listen to this type of. And again, even in that, like what type of Christian music to listen to. So again, Christian rock would be out, or Christian rap would be out, because again, it's like, okay, you're blending the elements. But again, our faith isn't defined by that. And like I said, there's certainly there's a lot of secular songs that I think have certainly that talk about gratitude, or talk about positive relationships, that put me in a very sort of spiritual mood, that whether they may not be talking about God directly, but there's certainly songs that put me in a place where I start thinking about God, or thinking about just how blessed I am. Like I know one song for sure is Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. He came out with this song back in the early 80s called IGY. I think it's called International Geophysical Year. And it's like, what a beautiful world this will be. What a wonderful time we will see. It's a very uplifting song about the future and what the future could be like for people. Again, it's not a spiritual song, but it's a very uplifting one. It's definitely something that it rings a tone of optimism that that I can really relate to. Even back in the day, some folks hated this guy back in the day, but don't worry, be happy, right? Remember that song?
Oh yeah, that's actually a great goddamn song.
Yeah, it was a positive song. Like I know some people hated it, but I love the song. It was like,
dude, that's one of the great songs. But what I was gonna say was, with censor your kids' music and watch where I have a funny story behind it. My parents never really censored my music. They let me buy whatever I want, and they really didn't care because it's music. It couldn't hurt anything. The only thing I care about them not listening to me hearing curse music in my music. That's where I know they would say something to me at some point. So I had this song. It's from the Blade 2 soundtrack. The song is from Crystal Meth group. All right. The name of the song is Name of the Game. So how it opens up is it goes mother, and it says you mother, and that's where the couple first words is saying motherfucker, but he doesn't say it. It stops right there. My father could turn on like, what the fuck are you listening to? And like, wait a minute, you're cursing, you're yelling at me for like to say mother, but you're just cursing at me. And like, I am the one who puts food on the table. Put what's going on? Clothes on your goddamn back, and you're gonna tell me that? I'm like, you gotta be goddamn fucking kidding me. I'm thinking to myself all the time. You're literally cursing at me over a curse. It didn't really happen. That
ended the song. Yeah. My man Eric, he hates Don't Worry Be Happy. Bobby McFerrin. I love the song. I mean, I'm like, what's wrong with the song?
I don't listen every day, but when it comes on radio,
here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note by note. Don't worry, be happy. It was a nice song. I mean,
you sing better than me. I realize that. At least you got one.
That's not much better.
Listen, I got a better beer. You got a better voice. Fair enough.
There you go. But it was a good song. I mean, it was or Happy. What was the one that came out? What was that from the was it from Ratatouille or Pharrell? Happy, want to be happy, clap along if you feel. That
one, one of the songs that came to my head.
Yeah.
Tuma Matata.
Yeah. From that's from Lion King, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, if you have no care,
it's a positive song. Yeah. It's
Tuma Matata.
Yeah.
I'm butchering it. Hey, David, wake up, get in here. Tell me how to pronounce that word. That's from your side of the world. I think he's sleeping, actually.
I don't think it implies that much, but that song for Pharrell, Happy, from what was that movie though that it was in? What was it, Ratatouille, or it was
I'm not sure because I'm not familiar with the song.
You've had to have heard it. They played that song to death.
I don't listen to radio. There's one thing. Yeah, I can tell you. I have series instead.
What was the movie? Happy was let's see, movie. Oh, Despicable Me. Despicable Me 2.
Oh. Okay,
yeah, it was.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was an animated. It was an animated. So again, I mean, that was a very positive song. I mean, everybody was kind of bobbing to it.
Eric here for a second. Like, so he doesn't like happy joy joy. I agree.
He does like happy. Yeah, he does like it from Ren and Stimpy. I think he's just trolling. Yeah.
No, when I was younger, I hated that song because everybody played it. Like joy joy happy joy joy happy. I'm like, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. You say it one more fucking time. I'm like, no, you won't. Like, say it one more time. I swear to God, I'm gonna knock your teeth out.
Oh my man, look, Eric hates Barney. Okay, remember the Barney song at the end of this?
That song, I swear to God, I will right now. I will come to New Jersey.
What's wrong with Barney? What's wrong with Barney?
I will spear you through your computer
with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you.
I hate that song. Like I love you song. Oh my God, I hate that fucking song. Whoever invented it, listen to me right now, you fucking piece of shit, motherfucker. Whoever invented that song, I am gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna rip your lungs out with a rubber.
Some people can't live in the happy. You can't. Some people can't live in a happy place.
For fucking 8 years.
Hey man. Hey, so it's almost, if you're too positive in the world. So again, you can't be on one side. You can't be on one side or another. But look, the Barney song, the all those even like I go back to the Donnie and Marie show. Again, this is way before your time. But here's the song, sing the song, may tomorrow be a perfect day. May God keep you in all his care until we come back. One song
is from your decade. You're going to tell me, oh, wow, I don't know, you know that. Happy Days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, now. So this is an area that I didn't necessarily want to go into, but I must admit, again, because like I said, I'm too old to care.
Yeah.
I am a nerd when it comes to TV theme songs.
Oh, right? I love theme songs. What are you talking about?
So, I mean, like singing them. Like I said, I don't sing often, but what me and the guys we used to do when we used to go to like the basketball game or whatever back in high school, we would sing theme songs from classic TV shows like Gilligan's Island. Like we would sing that, or the Brady Bunch. Here's a story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. So I mean, we would sing like all these songs from all these tracks, and then in the 80s it got really good. So like the theme song to I think Family Ties, we would sing that. We would sing What We Would Do Without Us. There was another one. Show me this song again. As long as we got each other, we got the world inside of. What was it? I don't know. It was Family Matters? No. Family Matters was good. Family Matters was good. What was the one?
Fresh Prince.
Oh, yeah. That was probably the great. Fresh Prince was probably the greatest theme song of all time. I'll put that out there right now.
Flintstone, would you consider that as a theme song?
Yes, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a modern Stone Age family from the Family Ties, absolutely. So again, all of that, all of those old songs. We've got a gorilla for sale, Magilla gorilla for sale. Won't you try him?
Okay, this one you everybody knows this. It's a classic. It's been on the air for years.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boys, Cops.
Oh yeah. That was like a song. That was like a song for the. I don't know if they wrote that specifically for the show or not. I think the group was UB40. UB40 was the group. But yes, bad. Yeah. So we would sing like we knew the lyrics, like all the lyrics from all of the all of those songs. So
the one song, a theme song I hated. This is after my time's more your time. Was the Lone Ranger song.
Mm-hmm.
So when when it go off, we go and like one of my dentists was a kid. He used to hum it when he drilled my fucking teeth.
Yeah.
I told him like, if he hums it one more time, I was gonna bite his fucking hand right off.
Yeah. Actually, I have a disco version of that song that is fine. That I'll play that. I'll play. It's a disco version of the Long Ranger that I have that I will play. Like I'm out there mowing my lawn or whatever. I will play that. It's cool.
Now
it's cool
I like it as an older kid. Like it comes in my rotation. I'm like, this is. I'm like, I'm rocking it like there's like a horse on my steering wheel. I'm like, I gotta stop doing that next one.
Yeah. But that's one of my I would say if I say I was going to be embarrassed, this is like one of my embarrassing indulgences is, like I say, classic 60s, 70s, and 80s theme songs. What was that? Bosom Buddies. That was actually Billy Joel's "My Life." I used to love singing that, but that was a song by Billy Joel. But again, I loved.
I got two more for you right now.
What's that?
Drew Carey Show and Married with Children.
Well, obviously, "Love and Marriage." That's a Frank Sinatra song. So that was big. Yeah. It's interesting. I made on my Instagram. I made for my 25th wedding anniversary. I played it because going into my wedding before we did a skit. The guy had us do a skit, so I go into the church, and then I run out of the church, and all my groomsmen literally come and grab me and carry me. Literally, like one guy's got a leg, one guy's got another leg. They all carry me back into the church to get married, and I play that "Love and Marriage" song. To that video clip that I had found. So
and you're alive still? Shit.
I'm Growing Pains. Thank you. That was Growing Pains. Awesome. Awesome. Sound check. Perfect Strangers. That was also another. That was another favorite of mine as well. Yeah. So we would sing the Golden Girls, right? What's that?
Speed Racer.
Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be racing after someone. I told you, I'm good. I'm good with the classics. I'm good with the classics, man. Once you get past the 90s, I start to fall off because I didn't watch as much TV back then. But them old classic cartoon, the Flintstones, Speed Racer, you name it. I can hold my own in that space.
What about Fat Albert? Do you remember that one?
Hey, it's Fat Albert, and I'm gonna sing the song for you, and we're gonna do a thing or two.
Ladies and gentlemen, from BMU and Grooming Reviews 101 networks, Mr. B, or we know him as Paul, aka the president, aka Fat Big Liar. He cannot sing. He can sing. So if this anybody famous acting, contact me. I'm his agent. He's available booking. He does weddings.
No, you don't want to book me. Trust me. You don't want to book.
Shut up. So he is available for only fee of $5,099. That's what I'm asking. $5,099.
Catalia, she's up. Happy Days. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday.
Go for that one.
Good times anytime you need a payment. Good times when you're sometimes being free.
Okay, let's see if you remember this one.
Keeping your head underwater. Absolutely. Yep. We can go there.
Go ahead. Let's see if you remember Animaniacs.
What's that?
Animaniacs.
I didn't watch it that much. I kind of remember some of it. The Animaniacs. Didn't watch it too much. But then again, another one of my favorites. We're moving on up to these, moving on up. The Jeffersons. Again, that's also up there with the top TV songs. So I would say Fresh Prince is definitely on that Mount Rushmore. I got to put the Jeffersons up there, but that was, oh man, that was a classic song. Have a little help from my friends or whatever. That was. I know the Beatles did a cover of that song, and then there was I forget the name of the group that did it, but that was mainstream. That was a
funny story about that Maniac song. So CQ on Pop Culture Warrior, a very good friend of ours, from our channel. He I know, that's the name of the song. So he actually had the guy who did the voices from Animaniacs.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
so it was one song. It's a country song, like United States Pontiac, and so on, right? So I type in the chats as a dumbass, like, "Can you sing the country song?" And goes, "Sure." He starts singing it live right there. I'm like, oh, he's getting copy striked. But because he owned the right to the song, he was able to
get away with it.
I am thinking I'm getting a text from Secret. You son of a fucking bitch! You got me striked again.
There you go.
I got clear right.
Yeah.
But coming to the top of the hour, buddy. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So again, this was love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you, the Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another run. I told you, I got the 70s. I kind of got on lock. I tell you, it can come out at any time. I got you. Could tell you, I got you on these songs. I'm telling you, but that again, it's a guilty pleasure. I grew up. Look, she triggered me, man. What could I tell you, man? That was my era. That was
Eric,
the 70s and 80s. But again, going back to and the reason why is because again, those songs from back in the day, again, it pointed me to happier times. When things were not going well, again, television for me, I could only speak for me. Because I wasn't allowed to go outside a whole lot, and hang out with friends, and that whole idea of going out and coming home at 6 o'clock for dinner, whatever. I didn't have that. My mom was like very protective of me, so I could rarely go out a lot of times. So television was essentially my guardian for a long time. So I was essentially in a lot of ways raised by television. And so again, a lot of those shows, Happy Days and Good Times and again, the Jeffersons and all those shows from the time, Laverne and Shirley. All right, all those shows. I grew up on that. That was fun. That kept me kind of sane. So again, a lot of those theme songs from those from that era really those remind me of happier times. So yeah, so if I hear those songs today, if I get in the mood, yeah, I will sing those songs to the embarrassment of my kids. And this is one of the reasons why I knew my wife was the one for me, is that she's even cornier than I am. So she may break out into one of those songs just as readily as I would. So I knew I married the right one, because again, she can get with that level of nerdiness. We're not in line. She's not into sci-fi and Star Trek and all that kind of stuff, but them classic shows from back in the day, yeah, she'll bust out a theme song just as quick as anybody. So that definitely let me know that I picked the right one. But yeah, absolutely. Songs, again, music in general, again, it can remind you of better times. It can make you optimistic about the future. It can, certainly help you get through a lot of dark and emotional places. It lets you know that you're not alone, that other people can feel what you're feeling, and that. But the thing is, you need to certainly take it from the level of understanding to actually getting help for whatever it is, going on and getting support from whatever it is that you're going through. So yeah, certainly music does move the soul. And certainly, I talked earlier about the so that wasn't a real theme song, so I can say the plan, but there wasn't a theme song there. You got to give me some music. Something I could sing. But yes, Fantasy Island is another good one. But the idea of music putting into these different moods and whatnot, it's a beautiful thing. But now it's certainly recommend for people again, because we didn't really talk about again, spiritual music. I think there's certainly a benefit to that. And like I said, certainly with the African American or just black music in general, a lot of our music is tied to our spiritual roots, or we've integrated our music, Absolutely. Black African music, into the spiritual area. And so that helps us get through a lot of different things. So music is as much a part of our worship experience as anything else that we do, as much as it is prayer or anything else. So yeah, we are very musical when it comes to when it comes to that, and we're unapologetic about
incorporating our faith into our music. And what I'm really happy to see is that, again, the old tropes about, don't play certain instruments or don't, sing certain ballads or whatever. I think, for the majority of people, they've broken away from that and understand that your music is about human expression. And when you combine the right words to the right music, it can take you places that, other music can't take you to. So, certainly it is a big part of certainly, my life and what I do and what keeps me motivated. And I would say, just to close out, certainly song that I've really been into as of late, it's a song called Grateful. All my life, Black Man used to play it as a funny, like as a skit, on his other shows or whatnot about the white church, and they're singing "All My Life I've Been Grateful." But if you actually listen to the actual song, and I think it's Shirley Caesar who makes a great rendition of it, and just when I listen to that song, it just puts me in a different place. And the last song I'll mention for tonight, "Open Our Eyes" by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Again, that just does something to me. It just puts me into the God realm that really makes me grateful to be alive. Because again, there was a time in my life where that was uncertain at a certain point in time. So it makes me grateful to be alive, and just to count my blessings and to look at the glass always as half full, and just understand that God's been with me the whole time. So music has certainly been instrumental in that. And songs like "Open Our Eyes" and "Grateful" are certainly two songs. If you haven't had a chance to listen to them, I certainly recommend that you do it. Again, Earth, Wind, and Fire, again, a secular group, but a lot of our greatest musicians in Black music, they grew up in the church. And so a lot of their inspiration, their musical talent and giftings came out of the church. And then they applied it to, I guess, what we would call secular music. But the music that they create is still powerful and can certainly be of a great aid to help you get through things. So that's my final thought for today. But this was indeed a fun episode. And yes, my older siblings love Beretta. Now keep your eye on the sparrow. Yeah, I told you I can go there with this. So I got 70s, I got you for the most part. So yeah, and that was actually sung by Sammy Davis Jr. So again, he did a great version of that. But yes, Beretta, that was one of my favorite shows to watch growing up as well. But with that, I'll turn it over to Grooming, and certainly you can close this out.
So when I came up with the idea, like I said originally, my opening statement is because the Linkin Park is back. I'm excited. I am thrilled. I can't wait what they can come with. If anybody's going to listen to them, please give them a fair chance before you judge them. It's a different sound, but anything you listen to in the world, different music, different anything, it's open. Don't go with your ears. Go with your heart for once. The reason I say that, because the first round, you might be like, this song sucks. But when you go back to it like 4 or 5 times later, this song is actually kind of fucking good. It caught you off guard. Yeah. Give it a fair chance before you judge any song. And I'll leave it to that. Except that, friendly reminder, one more time. And I will remind you, till October, me and Paul will be at Comic-Con. Come shake our hands, take a picture. Paul will sing you a song. I promise you that, for a penny. That's all he charges, a penny for a song. Simple. Penny a thought, penny a song. That's my motto. You open your mouth.
To me, you remind me of Colonel Parker from the Ellis movie. You just trying to exploit me, and I'll wind up broke at the end of the movie, and you'll have all the money.
Listen. I'm gonna pimp you out for a day. Simple. Pennies. That's all I'm gonna charge. Pennies. So, with my GoPro, I got the new speakers, the new mics. I'm gonna give you the mic, so I'm gonna give you a walk around and random people start singing it to them.
Yeah. There we go. I'll make sure I bring the guitar with the open guitar case, so you can just throw your dollars and nickels and coins in there.
We're not doing the naked cowboy thing here, bro. I just want you to go up to random people start singing to them and see what the reaction is. As simple as that. But except that, we will be Comic-Con. Remember, is on October 19th, I believe. Tell you right now because I can't remember the date. I'm that old. Don't even say a word. I know somebody's gonna make a comment.
Toont says the driving cat.
Yep.
The cat can't drive
October
a
19th,
car.
we will be at Javits Center, New York. Please come say hi to us. Take a picture. We will sign autographs if you guys really want them. I don't know why you want my
Autograph. Yeah, I would be on. Yeah, that'd be it first. Someone get my.
You know, funny story. When
What's that?
one of my exes met CQ the first time, she brought a piece of paper and pens. He goes, he walks in the house, so this is so and so, and that's his wife and everything. Goes, by the way, can I have your autograph? See, he looks at his wife and goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And people actually have come up to him and asked for his autograph. I'm like, seriously, dude? I'm like, who wants your piece of shit? Oh, signature. He goes, really? And I'm like, hey, the truth hurts. But yeah, if you want to take a picture, we're gonna be there. You want to hang out with us? Come on, we can walk around. Hopefully we won't get in too much trouble. I promise I'll bring Paul in a half a man back, not full, a half a man back.
I told you, just keep me away from the half naked, models and whatnot. No pictures that'll be detrimental. We'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Oh, what, talking to me? You talking to
Yeah,
me?
I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, sir.
I can't promise anything. So
I
what
love
happens
my
I'm
wife.
gonna say at Comic-Con. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. I promise you'll be back. You will be so married by the end of the day. That's all I can.
All right. Then that's a deal. All right.
right,
Again, thank you guys for that. This was fun. Again, this is a
David,
lighthearted
you earned
type of
to be
show.
Back there.
There you go. But again, I'm Mr. Bennett. He is Grooming and Reviews 101, aka
This is Sparta!
aka the Ghost of Sparta, aka Peter, aka Poniotis. This is the gray area, talking about music. Again, go listen to some great music, put you in some great moods, and until we see you next time, take care. God bless. We'll see you later.
I told you he's fucking
He's sleeping again. There it is.
Me already. Lost. Can you please get somebody on the phone and end the show, please? All right. I'm done. Have a good night, guys. I will see you guys on Thursday on the Hangout or on BMU channel. We'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely. Peace out.
Later.